Hi everyone, welcome to today's webinar with orders with insurance. Welcome to today's webinar on orders with insurance. Thank you for your time. I'm going to go ahead and get started here, and I'm just going to switch my screen. Today we're going to go over how to apply your insurance benefits to your orders. So this is for your patients that have insurance. I'm going to show you how to do that at the order level, which is what we call on the fly. And then I'm also going to show you how to apply that using a fee schedule. So I have some orders that I've kind of already set up here. So I'm just going to switch my screen one moment over to the database. That way you can take a look. So we're going to start off with how to apply the insurance benefits to an order at the order level, or what we call on the fly. So I'm going to go into my patient's profile first, and I want to go over some very important details here. Is in the insurance tab, we want to make sure that we add all of the necessary insurance information for our patient. So as you can see, this is already done, but I'm just going to go over it here. I entered two insurances here for this patient. She has a primary and a secondary insurance. So here I put in the type, the sequence. I selected the insurance here from my list of insurance companies, and I selected my plan here. I also put in the insurance ID, if you know that. Sometimes that's also the same as a social security number that you may have on file for your patient. So in here, there's a little shortcut where you can just click on SSN, and that's just going to copy that over for you. And then down at the bottom is going to be very important for you to put in who the primary insured is for that particular insurance plan. So in this example, this primary vision with Aetna for our patient Jessica, she is the primary. So self radio button is already selected for us. The next place we're going to go is under the authorization sub-tab here, is where we can put in additional information for the authorization that we have for this insurance. So prior to my patient coming into the office, I was able to pull an authorization for the benefits that she's eligible for. I selected the add button, and down here in this section, I was able to put in the authorization number that I got, and I checked off what she's eligible for in that authorization. So I have exam, frame, and spectacle lenses selected. Okay. Another thing that I did here, and the first example that I'm going to go over is the on the fly or at the order level. So I don't have any fee schedules set up for these plans. So to kind of help me a little bit, what I can do here under this authorizations tab, since there's really no calculations coming in at all, there's a small section where you can go ahead and kind of start putting in what those benefits are. So you notice that there's a section for allowance and there's a section for copay. So under the frame retail allowance, I put in that the frame retail was 110. So when we go to our order, you will see that this will calculate in for us, and then we will calculate the rest on the fly. Now I'm going to go into my VisionRx tab, and from here you can go ahead and select the prescription and start your order. I've already previously started my order prior to the webinar today, so I'm going to go under the history and pull up the order that I've already done. So I just did this to kind of save a little bit of time here today. You're just basically going to create your order like you normally would for a private pay patient. So as you can see, I created the order. I haven't added it in. I have not added any insurance benefits to the order just yet. I just have my frame, my single vision polycarbonate transitions gray. That's what the lens is. And then we have our Crizal Avance anti-reflective coating. And that anti-reflective coating does have a UV component to it as well. So that's going to be very important in a little bit once we go into add those benefits to the order. So once you've created the order like this, what you want to do is then bring in the insurance information into the order. So to do that, you're going to go into these fields here. We're going to first select the insurance. I'm going to go ahead and select the Aetna. I will go ahead and select my plan. And I have a few examples set up here, so that's why you see multiple. I'm going to select this one first, which is the first example I have set up for you. And then I'm going to go ahead and select my authorization number that I entered in. Once I select that, you will notice that this did a calculation for me. It happened really fast. But if you look under the Burberry frame here, you will see that the retail price for my Burberry frame was $250. And since I had already put in the frame allowance under the authorization tab, once I selected that authorization number, what it does is it calculates whatever you put under that authorization tab. So it's calculated already for me. So in my frame, you'll see that it gave $110 allowance, and I can verify this. If I double click on the line, or if I highlight the line and I say modify, you'll see a section down at the bottom where you will see where that retail allowance has applied to that $250 retail price for the frame. Now, if maybe you made a mistake and it wasn't $110 and it was supposed to be $100, you can easily just go into that field and make any changes you may need. Another thing that we can do here, and I'm just going to switch this back to 110 and leave it as is. Another thing that we can do here is we can apply any additional discounts that we may need. There may be an instance where some insurances, in addition to the retail allowance on the overage of what the patient pays, they give an additional discount. And you are able to do that here at this line item. So notice that after the allowance of 110, my patient pays $140. But I'm going to say there's an additional $20 discount on this 140. So what I can do is go into this column, and I'm just going to kind of open this section up here. That way you can see the complete verbiage there. It says discount type. Okay, so I'm going to apply my discount this way. So first I'm going to say percent, because that is going to apply the discount off of what the patient pays. I'm not going to select retail, because then retail is going to discount my full charge of $250. So I'm going to select percent. That way it discounts off of the 140. That's what the patient pays. And I'm going to put in here 20%. Click outside of that cell, and it's going to calculate for me. So now my patient pays $112, $110 retail allowance, and 20% on the overage. So once I say okay, it will go ahead and apply that. So we're done with our frame. And next we're going to go into our lenses. So we're going to just go line by line here and start applying the rest of these insurance benefits. Okay. As you can see here, and I'm just going to go back 1 second, we have a right lens and a left lens. Okay. And these are single vision polycarbonate with transitions lenses. So there is 3 components to these lenses. So you're going to see 3 procedure codes here. And this is just for the right lens. When you go into this window, you're going to notice at the bottom, there's going to be a box that says OD equals OS, and that box is going to be checked off. Always just take a quick look at that box and make sure that it's checked off, because that box is just going to help you apply whatever we do to the right lens here over to the left, so we don't have to repeat this again when we go into the left lens. All right, very important when you build the insurance company, you know they want to see the right and the left, so we have this already working for us. All right, so we're going to start off here with the first procedure, the V2784. It's the polycarbonate part of this lens, which is $20. And in here, I can go ahead and put in my copays, or I can put it under the patient pays column. In this particular example, I'm going to put that under the copay. Okay. So I'm going to go through each one of these procedure codes here, and I'm going to put in how much does my patient, what is my patient's copay for that particular procedure code. So we're going to say that for the V2100, my patient pays $0. And we're going to say that they pay a copay for the polycarbonate part of the lens. And let's say that copay is $10. Okay. So if the copay is $10 and it's a total copay of $10. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take that $10 and split it in half or divide it by 2, and I'm going to put $5 here, and my other $5 is going to apply to my left lens, okay? And I'm going to do the same thing here for my for my photochromic, for the transitions portion of the lens. So let's say the copay for this is $20. I'm going to put $10 here, and the other 10 is going to apply to the left. And once I am done there, you're going to notice that you're going to have some amounts here under the insurance pays column. Now I'm going to leave that as is because I don't know what the insurance is going to pay me for that just yet. So I'm going to leave that at that max balance there towards the insurance. And then once I receive the insurance payment, I'll be able to apply the right amount that they paid towards this order. If you do know what the insurance is going to pay you for that, you can definitely go ahead and put that in here into the insurance pays column. Then you might see a gap come over, and then you can write it off from there if you like. So I'm going to say OK here, and you will notice here that what we've applied to the right has also applied to the left, and my patient is going to pay a total of $30 here. So I don't have to go into the left lens to do this again because it's already copied it over for me. Last but not least, here on this order, we have an anti-reflective coating. I'm just going to go ahead and go into that line, and I can either apply copays or discounts here. Okay. Now, for some anti-reflective coatings like this Crizal Avancé, there is a UV portion for this treatment. So you're going to see two procedure codes. You're going to see a V2755 for the UV and a V2750 for the anti-reflective coating. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say that my UV for my patient is covered and the anti-reflective coating is not covered here. I'm going to just say that there is a discount here. So I'm going to say that the discount for my patient is 20% off. So I'll apply the discount there. And then my patient is going to pay $112 for that anti-reflective coating. So you can either do it by a discount, or if it was a copay, then you can easily just apply the copay, and this will calculate for you. So that is the way that you apply the insurance benefits at the order level. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to finish up this order, and I'm going to go ahead and take a payment for it. And I'm going to show you an example of a contact lens order. So we're done with that order, and let's do a contact lens order now. So I'm going to go here into the order I've already started here for contact lenses and show you this. You will basically go ahead and create your order for the contact lenses as you normally would for a private pay. Make sure you put in the total quantity of boxes you want for each eye. So as you can see here, my patient is going to order 2 boxes for the right and 2 boxes for the left. And I'm going to go into the insurance section here and select my insurance. Okay, the moment that I select this authorization, my allowance for the contact lenses is going to calculate in. Before I do that, I just want to show you, I'm going to go back here to the profile. I had added this one for our example for the contacts, and I had put in here contacts, and I put in the allowance was $100. So when I select that authorization here, it's going to calculate a separate line here. It's going to say contact lens allowance on a separate line, and you're going to see that allowance subtracted there. So the total was $200 minus $100 allowance, so my patient is going to pay $100. So it's pretty easy to do it there. You really don't have to go into the lines here because you already applied that allowance over here under the insurance tab. When you added the insurance under authorizations, you put in the allowance here. So it's going to calculate already. Now, if you did not put that under the authorization tab, then when you select this authorization over here, it's not going to do any calculations for you. There is another way in here. You can go into the more button and you can also see a section for insurance details. And that's actually already there for us coming over from that authorizations tab. So that is your contact lens order. I'm going to go ahead and take a payment for this. And we're all done. So those are the two examples that we did for the on-the-fly or at the order level method of applying the insurance benefits. Now let's go over what it would look like or what would happen if we had a fee schedule set up. So I'm going to go to my patient here that I'm going to use for our fee schedule example. Very important, I put in my patient's insurance information in here, as you can see. And I'm going to go ahead and go to the orders that I've already kind of started earlier. I'm going to first do the one for glasses and show you that example. So just like before, you create your order as usual. So I have frame, lenses, and anti-reflective coating on this example. I'm going to go ahead and do the same. I'm going to select my insurance. I'm going to select my plan. And I'm going to select my authorization. When I select this, you will see that it's calculated everything already for me. And the reason is because this plan that I selected here has a fee schedule already set up. And in that fee schedule is where I put in all of the amounts, all of those co-pays, all of the allowances. So I'm done here. All I'm going to do is just verify that this calculated for me properly. And you can also go into the line here if you like, and you can take a look at what has calculated there, okay? You'll see the lenses, you'll see my anti-reflective coating. You can also hear when it calculates from your fee schedule if maybe something is wrong and you need to change something. Like for example, let's say nothing really calculated here under my anti-reflective coating. This is supposed to be a 20% discount. I can still do that on the fly basically. I'm going to go ahead and apply the discount here because I forgot to set it up on my fee schedule. So instead of making the patient wait and going back into the fee schedule to fix it, I'm just going to fix it here on the fly. I'll make myself a note. That way I can remember to go into my fee schedule and set up my anti-reflective coating, my lens treatments to calculate the way that I want. That way the next time that I create an order and I use this fee schedule, I don't have to worry about going in there and doing that. Okay, so very easy. You do, of course, need to have your fee schedule set up in order for these calculations to come over. So I'll go ahead and take a payment. And let's go over an example for contact lenses. So there is the order I started earlier for the contact lenses. You will create your order as you normally would. And then here, I will go ahead and select that plan, that insurance, the plan, my authorization, and that's going to go ahead and calculate my allowance. Now in this particular example, I have an allowance, but I also have a material copay. So that's calculating in from the fee schedule. That's where I set up my allowance in the fee schedule, and I set up my material copay. So all of this is calculating from the plan that I set up for, I'm sorry, from the fee schedule that I set up for this plan. So I'll go ahead and take a payment here. And those are the examples that I have for you today of applying insurances at the order level or with a fee schedule. So if you have any questions that you want to go over, you can go ahead and find the questions section there, and we'll go over those with you.